welcoming,
inviting,
open,
light and airy.
green,
It's not rectangular. It has interesting spaces.
A connection with the outdoors just about at every angle.
I think the thing I like the best is how there's just natural light everywhere. It's coming in through windows. It's even coming into classrooms, and it just feels very open.
I really fell in love with especially the focus area where you have this mixing of the original science building with the brick, and then you just have all of the additions like packed on together, kind of like a Matryoshka doll.
I think just the flow of the building and how the offices and the labs and the study spaces weave together, I think is really nice.
I love that the new Science Center feels much more integrated into the surrounding gardens. And so you're in an ecology class or we're in the horticulture class and we can look right out onto the gardens. We can look right out into an amazing ecosystem that we're about to go right out and study.
Well, the classrooms are really well designed for teaching math. I have my students do group work at the board almost every class, and it's just great having those whiteboards everywhere. It allows them to collaborate together and allows me to see exactly what they're doing.
So this is one of the new additions to the science building. It's the food lab, and it's designed so we can have this more interactive space for experimentation with food and beverages. What makes the space really interesting is we've been able to experiment with a bunch of different concoctions. We've made like honey garlic, sauerkraut. So it's just been a really great way to like bring in some creative outlet, but also adding science as well into looking at the interactions between these microbes and like edibles, while also having a fun little tasting every now and then.
We're standing in one of the research bays of the teaching and research greenhouse. We have a big head house where we have a potting station for students to pot up plants. And we've had classes do specific research experiments in these other smaller research houses. And then our big teaching greenhouse has individual stations where students have grown plants from seed all the way to bloom and fruit even over the course of this last semester.
The two new neuroscience labs have been thoughtfully done, which is really nice. We have this room and we have another room on the other side with a prep area in between. And so that's really special for us because we never had a neuroscience dedicated prep space. Some of the ways that the new space has enhanced our ability to teach and learn. It's bright, it's light, there's windows. So that sort of connection to the indoor-outdoor feeling is, I just think it sort of lifts you up and makes you feel a little better as you go through the day.
I think because everything is opened up now, there are more opportunities to hear people talking and meeting and discussing ideas and studying and working together. You can hear folks, and this is not a quiet space. That's another thing that people tend to think it should be just a quiet space, because it can't be, right? It's a space for people to come collaborate, have fun, and learn.
Students are really, they look like they really enjoy studying here. They're filling up all the little nooks and they're working here. And so I feel like I see my students more often during the week. It gives me an opportunity to have more conversations with them outside of class.
It just feels so much more like you're part of a learning community and you can see the science happening. And I think that just makes it so much more welcoming.
I know there are lots of students that are coming from all across campus and coming over here. So it's not just the STEM students here anymore, which is really wonderful.
Everyone is welcome in a science center. You do not have to be a science major to come use this space and study or, just be in this space. Come on over, say hi.